Chapter 35. Who have been the most important people in your life? There are several people that I can say have been very important in my life. I'm really glad to have this opportunity to thank them one by one for their meaningful time in my life. First, I must thank my mother and father. When I look back at the time I had with them, I can't begin to say how thankful I am for what they did for my life. My mother treated me as if I was a very special blessing that came into her life. She always saw that I got as much out of life that they could give me. My dad was a hard-working man that dedicated his life to seeing that his family was well respected and always had a little extra for those good times we had together. In my years as a student at South Mount Pleasant Grade School, there was one teacher that really shines in my memory. That was my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Cox. She was the only teacher that I remember having an honor roll. Any student that had all A's and B's on any grade period got on the honor roll, which was a chart on the bulletin board with your picture on it. I was the only one to be on it every period that year. I think that it was as much about the competition and challenge as it was about being a good student. I applaud her for bringing out the best in me. Then there was Fay Juvenal, my baseball coach for Little League and Pony League. He was the one that brought out the athletic abilities in me. First, though, he was very instrumental in starting the league in our neighborhood. Before he did that, there was not any organized sports for me and my schoolmates. He not only was my baseball coach, but he took me fishing. Although he had his own sons, he would take me to the ponds and rivers and show me how to catch fish. I thank him for all he did for me. He later became the park superintendent at Kickapoo State Park. My first boss at Bone Aluminum was Robert Johnson. It was an entry-level job, but Bob saw that I could handle much more and moved me up pretty quickly. The person that really boosted my career was the company president, Don Forshee. Don put me on his staff and gave me several projects that were very important to the company and to my career. He had faith in me and knew that if he gave me an assignment, I would get it done, and on time. I really appreciate all that he did for me. At a very rough time in my life, I am thankful that my in-laws were loving and understanding people. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Kuhn, for all the help you gave me and Michelle. If it hadn't been for Mrs. Kuhn's generosity, Michelle and I may not have had this new house on Poland Road to call our home. Thank you. And then along came Joni. She came into my life and it hasn't been the same since. What I mean is that she is a very special person in my life. We are devoted to each other with love and sharing like no other couple. We share the same lifestyle and have so much fun doing things together. I don't think life would be near as good if we had not met those 20-some years ago. Thank you, Joni, for being the love of my life and for loving my daughter and her family as if they were her own. Speaking of my daughter and family, I am so blessed to have her growing the family tree. Without her, it would not grow. Michelle and Dave have blessed me with a wonderful family, with two amazing grandchildren, Marilyn and Ben. Although the Palmer name will not continue, there will be a continuation of the Palmer Graves bloodline. These grandchildren have already given Joni and me such great memories. When we would arrive at their house, these kids would run out of the house and jump into our arms to greet us. We will always cherish the memories that we made from day one of their arrival into this world. It boggles the mind to see how fast time flew by. These two kids are adults now, with college behind them and setting out on their own. Ben is engaged and will be getting married to his sweetheart Claire. Marilyn is learning so much at her job in the Windy City and enjoying her new residence nearby. This is all how life was intended to be. I hope I get to see even more growth in that tree as these years fly by.